Hello, 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 everybody! Trovians! Happy Friday, happy weekend! How is everybody doing? Wait, what? Oh, no, no, yeah, totally. You can totally hear me, I think. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, yeah. Hey! That's awesome. Doing good, Soul God. Good to see you. Good to see a lot of our regulars in the Trove streams. Super mega hype for the Shadowhunter. Is everybody hyped? I don't think everybody's hyped. I want to see some hype in the chat for the Shadowhunter Revamp. Come on, guys. Yes, just go there. Oh! That Shiroki just did. That's what I call it. I don't know if that's what people call it, but that's what I call it. Hype. That's right. That's right. Hype it up, people. Super, super excited. Well, it's good to see everybody. Thank you so much for coming around to our Trove stream today and this wonderful, wonderful, magnificent Friday, which we all look forward because, weekend means eternal gaming and no sleeping and just pizza for dinner, which is amazing. However, as always, I am your host for today. My name is Kinsiel. I am the social media manager here at Gamigo. As always, I am accompanied by the wonderful devs of Trove. We have Andrew, and we have Adam, and we have someone particularly new today. Look at that cutie over there in that corner just dancing for you guys. You guys, may I introduce you to Blocky? Say hi, Blocky. He is our wonderful Trovian, full Trovian. There's no other explanation of what he is. As you can see, he is made out of cubes, and that's pretty much who he is. You can't hear him. That's not good. That's not good. Really? You can't hear him? Speak louder, Blocky. I might have to. Is that better? Can you guys hear him now? You're not. But he sounds so loud for me. Try again. Oh, are we really having this issue again? Wait, wait, wait. Speak now, everybody. Speak.
Hello.
Test.
Blocky is number one.
Okay, now they can hear you guys.
Now
I'm
they're
bringing
hearing
that
us,
Blocky a little bit down because otherwise it's going to be louder than everybody else. Yay! We didn't waste it like 10 minutes on that this time. Ah, awesome. I'm awesome. Anyway, please, Andrew, Adam, say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, Andrew Gingervamp. I'm a game designer here at Gamigo, working on Trove.
And hi guys, I'm Adam Bliza. I'm a game designer working on Trove as well. And who's the weird guy dancing in the corner again?
I'm Blocky.
He's Blocky. He is our Trovian. He was born from the blocks of your enemies.
Our very own mascot.
Adam is low. I will bring Adam a little bit higher on my ears.
That has to be the first time anyone has ever accused me of being quiet.
Hey, there's always the first time for everything. However, guys, we are super excited to be here to talk about the Shadowhunter Revamp that just went live for all of you Trovians on PC. And therefore, I'm just going to leave our wonderful devs to explain everything and anything. So, boys, you're up.
So yeah, this whole update ended up being massive. It was huge. We had the Shadowhunter Revamp, and then we also took some time to rebalance a little bit in Trove and kind of change up the general meta of the game. So the main spotlight was definitely the Shadowhunter, but everything got a little touch. We wanted to kind of like bring up balance, the tweak around what was going on with characters, and experiment a little bit here and there. So yeah, so the Shadowhunter Revamp. So the goal going into the Shadowhunter Revamp was always to keep it kind of similar to how it played before, but kind of like revitalize parts of it that were not necessarily functioning as well. We mainly did this with the idea of like we shouldn't change the basic attack around too much. That is a key pillar of how this character functions. It's a single attacker mostly, focusing on just one target at a time necessarily. But also we wanted it to kind of be a little more powerful and bring it up because it is a revamp. We want the revamp to be spotlighted with being a little more powerful, but then give it a little bit more utility with some of its abilities. Kind of like the key complaints we saw with the Shadowhunter were, the charge shot not being as fun, or the ult was super cool, but it kind of like, it was a fire forget ability that wasn't like, didn't feel like a cornerstone piece. It wasn't like, didn't have a huge impact kind of ultimates should usually have to the character. So with that in mind, we kind of like just tooled around a little bit with how it played. So now the way a lot of things work are basically your passive is Dark Whispers still. It applies your Shadow Mark more often. Applies them to nearby targets. You gain a small damage buff while it's active on a target. So you can see here, I'm playing right now. It is periodically changing to different characters around you. It'll track out a specific enemy nearby. It'll make them highlighted so you can see them through terrain still. And then it gives you kind of like that bonus damage. You see now it's highlighted this target over here. So it's constantly moving around different characters, which is how it worked before, but now it's a little more efficient with how it does it, how we've set it up. Originally, when you had your class gem and you dealt damage to a target that was shadow marked, it would actually consume the mark, removing it, and then do a small AoE. We've reduced the damage on this AoE now so that it isn't as heavy a hitter, but it doesn't consume the shadow mark anymore. It just activates. So while you're attacking targets that are shadow marked, you'll be, having this little AoE go off around them. It deals, a small amount of damage, but it is kind of like constant rather than before when it was like you'd have to wait for your mark to get reapplied. Additionally, when this ability, this damage proc or activation happens on shadow mark targets, you will gain Seekers. Seekers are a new fuel type coming to the class that are evolved around the M2 ability, the right click. Essentially, the way these work are for every damage tick that happens on that target, that damage tick is on a cooldown, like to make it balanced. Specifically around that explosion, it then gives you one of these Seeker fuels. You'll see it flying at the character when I'm damaging targets here. They're these nice little. I love these little orbs. They run off similar tech to the blooms from the Pirate Captain. It was really fun to play around with. They will increase the amount of Seekers you have. You can see above my head, that's the total amount of Seekers I have currently, which is 5. And when I hit right mouse click, it'll fire off these seeking arrows that will go out after the nearest target and deal massive damage. Additionally, so basically, yeah, you can see as I need to remark them. Let's go. This one's marked over here. As I'm dealing damage to a target, you can see that your icon is changing as it's increasing in the amount you have. You can always fire off however many you have. They deal increased damage the more stacks of that fuel you have. Starting with the lowest amount of damage at 1, but each one does increase damage, meaning the most effective way to deal damage is to get to your max stacks and then fire them all off. So this was kind of just like a neat little thing we played around with. The idea being we wanted this ability to be something that doesn't take away from your basic attack, but you could fire it while you're basic attacking to stay hooked onto your target. Additionally, the other changes are we reworked the mine slightly differently. It has a larger AoE radius now, so you can hit targets. It does a little more increased damage, but the main focus was it had a larger radius. It also applies your shadow mark, so you can try to keep your shadow mark constantly on targets. Whereas before it was just random or relied on your ult. Now it's specifically on this ability, so it just happens whenever you throw it at a target. And then that's how you would so the rotation would be you throw down your mine, you then do basic attacks to get your Seekers, and then you fire them all off to do increased damage. And so that was just a small kind of easy tweak that we did to the mine to kind of make it more of a utility. It still does the same stun as before, but it's much more useful in its range, the amount of damage it does, and the amount of just having marked targets really helps out a lot. Additionally, we implemented a new ultimate. This is your sacred arrow. So the way this ability works is it fires off a arrow as long as you hold down the 2 button to keep firing. It is affected by attack speed rate and whatnot. So you can fire more off if you have a higher attack speed. And it constantly drains energy while it's active. So you can essentially go into a fight. You can pop some energy regen items to kind of get your energy regen up max and fire off a ton of these. But here, I'll demo it right now. So it fires off these arrows of light. They deal large kind of like damage when they initially hit, and then they apply a dot that stacks over time. So damage over time effect that will stack multiple times. So players on PTS were doing tons of damage with this thing by just getting it to fire off constantly and applying damage over time effects. So we had to balance it actually a lot on PTS because it came after the first few balance patches a bit too strong. So but it is a fine addition to the class now. Some other small changes were the basic attacks now for the gem can fire through walls. So if you have a target that is shadow marked, you can see it through a wall. So if you're like dungeoning, if you're out in the dungeon, you can see a target, you can fire at it essentially through the wall. And being a little weird because we're in a club world right now. And then also the regular basic attack, kind of for like lower end players, but also players who want to. The goal was like maybe in delves it'd be more useful if the regular basic attack without the gem. Here,
I'm using it right now too. I gotta say, I'm really a big fan of it.
Don't have any generators. Yeah, so Blizzard's firing off this regular basic attack, and it is essentially it pierces targets and goes through walls. The balance being that like if we, it's like if you choose to go with your class gem, then you get the very fast stream of basic attacks that do increase damage to single targets. But this is more of an AoE target kind of effect that would be potentially useful for lower end players. So kind of like be a better ability for when they're questing through content. And those are like the main changes we went through with the class. We wanted to keep the same traditional play style where it was like, hey, I deal single target damage mostly. I'm constantly firing I'm like a constantly firing class. I'm less a focus on my abilities necessarily. But people have found ways around being able to use the ult a lot. If you have really good cooldown reduction, you can make a build around that, or you can just stick to your basic attacks. But it's just kind of make it all a little bit more useful, and then buff up the damage a bit. So on PTS, we had tons of great feedback from y'all. It was really a fun time to balance and change things on the fly. This PTS period, I was loving it. I was constantly reading all your feedback. So if you saw things get slightly adjusted based off of what you said or did, like I was like looking on Discord, I was looking on YouTube, kind of seeing what everyone was saying about the class to kind of really tweak the damage as much as possible. Like it's at a really good spot right now. It is doing very good damage overall, and kind of like we wanted to buff it up so that it was more useful. And I think we're going to continue to do kind of like these like modifications to classes as time progresses. We'll be balancing and like, changing classes up potentially to make them more useful. And so that's why going into the rest of the patch notes for balance essentially on characters, we did a huge overhaul on a lot of damage numbers for characters. A lot of classes got buffed. The Boomeranger got buffed. The Candy Barbarian got really buffed, and then I had to nerf it a little bit. That one was great. I loved seeing people show videos of it just doing a lot of damage. And so we were playing around with kind of like different characters, getting them to a better spot, but then also some characters who were like overperforming for a longer period of time. We nerfed those a little bit. The nerfs weren't as extensive, minus Chloromancer, because it's been very dominant in the meta right now. But we wanted to, change up how gameplay felt a little bit. These revamps don't have they're we're trying to keep to doing 2 a year, if we can, hopefully. And some classes might not necessarily get a revamp right away. So we wanted to give a couple of classes, a damage boost if they needed it. And we're gonna just see how these play out over the next couple months, and possibly we will do additional balance or nerfs or buffs, depending on how things go. So it was really fun to work on this entire, this has been like a really big joy of mine, like doing this kind of like balance change, testing it all out, and then getting it to everyone out there in PTS to see what their opinion was. It was a blast. I really like working with our community, and kind of like I'm always reading Discord, or like looking at the YouTube videos for what people are saying about classes, combat, and Trove in general. So it's just been a blast to work in. But that's mostly it on combat. Like I could go into the minor damage changes for a lot of classes, but I really want you all to kind of go and experience it and test it out yourself if you've not tested on PTS. If you don't test on PTS, thank you so much. Another big combat update that I'll just talk about real quick was we switched over to 64-bit process health and damage. So your damage values will now be seen at much higher levels, potentially in the future. This has been just something we've been doing for a while, with the idea being that, we wanted, people are hitting caps, we wanted them to be able to see like if they could go higher, really. So that was kind of like a big thing that we wanted to get into this update was that. But there's a lot of other additional changes that this was a big patch. There's a lot of things to see besides Shadowhunter Revamp. So if you're, I assume most people here either have been following the Shadowhunter Revamp or they were watching this on PTS. But if you haven't checked it out, please go onto PTS and check it out. It has been a phenomenal thing to work on, and it's been really great. Thank you everyone for giving feedback and helping with that. So yeah. I can keep talking. You
can totally keep talking about. I'm not gonna stop you.
Well, yeah. One thing I did want to interject, but like you were on a roll, so I didn't say anything. Is one of my favorite things about the Shadowhunter Revamp is that I don't actually feel like I need the class gem in the way I used to. Like you generate your secret darts faster if you're using the if you're not using the class gem, because it's rated based on your on the different attack speeds. And I really like pressing that button, so I enjoy like pushing my attack speed a little higher and just not using the class gem, which is weird.
It's tweaked slightly so that you can generate seekers faster without the gem, to kind of balance it out a little bit. They're all based on cooldown slightly. Like everything kind of has a cooldown. That's one of the ways we can balance stuff, and not make it like crazy or getting tons of ammo. But yeah, it's kind of like the idea being with like what it was to try to get a good feel where like the class gem will ultimately be the higher damage values on a character, but we wanted to open up the potential for there being another playstyle where you're doing this kind of AoE piercing shot. Was the goal.
And like I'm able to hit all three of these dummies without my class gem and just shoot through them. And like I think this would be really fun in like delves after people gather stuff up. You could do a lot of damage this way.
The class gem is not completely useless. I saw someone just say that in chat. No, it's not. No. It's still we buffed it a lot. It does a lot more damage now. So it is the difference is kind of like scenario. So if you're going to a battle where it's like bosses, you're trying to down bosses faster, or just in general in delves, like in most situations with how the delves are laid out, the class gem will be probably more efficient. But if you have like large sections of like a delve where there's a ton of enemies built up, it might be more efficient to have a build where you do more AoE. That was kind of the idea. And we can balance around that and change it potentially in the future, but for now, it is still more efficient to use your class gem. I saw someone say that. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
But
I was only speaking for the perspective of like I knew that almost no one was gonna want to not use a class gem because it's
yeah,
so fun. So I made sure to play without the class gem entirely, and I was honestly surprised because like my main was the Boomeranger, and using the bow is basically just like why would I ever do that? So
yeah.
I want to make sure to try it with this, and I found it very enjoyable. Like I really like being able to hit. I like the pierce shot. I like just randomly digging with it. That's just the weirdness that I have in me.
Yeah, the yeah, block damage is a big thing in Trove. It's fun to balance around block damage because sometimes you can just accidentally, like I think we had in the last big one of the ring PTS things, there was the Berserk Slinger. It's one of the one of the gunslingers ring effects. When they brought it to when we brought it to PTS, it was just doing a ton of block damage because traditionally the Gunslinger's AoE just does really good block damage, but this made it fire faster. So people were just digging through caves with it. And we were like, well, we have to unfortunately nerf that. But it was a fun nerf to work around because we are like, okay, well, that's like an interesting interaction with that ability. Like, what can we do with that potentially in the future? So we're always kind of learning from any of these class revamps we do, or just balances in general. And we hope to keep bringing future content to Trove and keep, we've got a lot of big things planned. We're super excited about this year. And we're hoping the Shadowhunter revamp will be like kind of like the first jumping point for y'all to start playing and having a blast of fun, a lot of fun with it. It's gonna be a really fun revamp to play. Also, I didn't go over one last thing with the Shadowhunter revamp. There's the reason why we implemented this whole, there's like players will notice there's this VFX going on around it. Now when you dodge, you can gain essentially a movement speed boost. So the original intention of this was to kind of negate when you're using your basic attack or your ultimate, you're very slowed. So the original intention of the dodge dash was to kind of like give you, so if you manage to, like, we're getting really good with the character, you could dodge and then start doing your basic attack and you'd have an increased speed movement. But players really grabbed onto the idea of this being a lot faster and being able to farm with this kind of dodge ability. And so I think, like, we played around with these dodge abilities actually back in Paragon system. There are a number of rings that, there's one for the Shadowhunter that gives you a mine when you dodge. So it's something, we're always looking at figuring out new inputs to kind of give players additional, like, tools at their disposal. And this is one of them that we actually came up with really early on. Like I think maybe Bliza, you suggested it last year or something. Like very early on and like mid last year about like, hey, what if like when you dodge you gain like movement speed or something. So like playing around with like those different ideas of like what is necessarily control and Trove, like we're really looking forward to that in the future with all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah, I won't lie. One of the things I do very frequently, just as I'm running around, is I'll dodge while on my mount and then try to mount right as I'm landing. So then, at least in my brain, I lose no speed. I really enjoy
that's not technically how it works in the background. I know how mount speed is implemented. And so that if you're trying to do that, you'll just get VFX. It's not going to give you actually a bonus in speed.
Oh no, yeah, I was just talking about I do that on any class, but yes,
yeah.
I just find it fun
to play with. Yeah, I like it too.
I love dashes having benefits. Like the moment I think you were the one who implemented the trap on dash. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. It's the only one I use.
But yeah.
I'm pretty sure the main question that a lot of the players are having right now is platforms when. Everybody's rather curious.
We are so there's a lot that goes into getting a patch out on a platform, and we are always working our hardest to try to get it to you all as soon as we can. I can't give any information today about platforms because it would just, we don't have an exact date, but we are trying to get it to as soon as possible. So look for in the past when, we've done platform updates. We're trying to keep that schedule. Preferably, as fast as we can though. So hopefully within, I don't want to say an actually amount of time because I don't want to be wrong and then be a disappointment to all of y'all. But we're trying really hard to get it as fast as you can. There's a lot that goes into getting patches to platforms. it's a lot simpler when it's like just your PC client.
Can confirm as
yeah,
former
yeah.
QA.
That's why we do so
Can
much work
confirm.
on PTS. It's just PTS, like in general, like it's just easy for us to get patches out, and same to PC when we need to. Like if we need to hotfix something, with platforms, it can take a little more time just because you're working with other companies, and there's a lot of the process. It's really interesting. I would suggest if any of you are interested in game development, just look into that at some point. You can see like how much that does take.
Indeed, it's not just by
Yeah.
pressing a button, guys. So just make sure that you keep up to date with the
I
news.
wish.
I know, right? Just make sure you guys are in our Trove Discord and you follow the news in our website so that you can keep up to date. And obviously, when it's closer to the release on consoles, we will make sure to let you guys know as soon as we know. But right now, we don't have a time frame for you guys. I am sorry. And I do love the fact that I'm seeing a couple of people ask this particular question in a really fun way. They're like, hey, Ginger, what's the next class you're gonna be playing? Because they want to know if you're gonna be working on the next one, and if that's the class that you're giving them.
I do like playing on the next. Usually, I do like playing on the next class in some stuff. That will be reworked. I'm not currently any account that I would be playing that on is not known to anybody. So I can't give any information about the next rework. We are we're excited to keep doing these revamps. They're really fun to do. We hope to. We want to hear which ones you want to be revamped. So like please let us know. That has not been set in stone necessarily yet. So we're just always looking for feedback on what class should be reworked next. So please just on Discord, just wherever you can, just let us know, and we'll be happy to kind of like take that feedback. Also, like if you're all coming up with ideas, we're always happy to hear that. I had some really cool ideas come out of PTS from y'all. I tried to get some of them in, but they were like, oh, this would be just way too unstable to put into a character right now. Maybe I'll shelf this and look at it down the line. But like some of the Shadowhunter changes like were specifically because of player feedback. Like the dodge, how the dodge functioned, it was never meant to be constant. It was meant to be something you used every once in a while. But players really gravitated towards, hey, we really want this to refresh. We really want it to keep coming back. And because of that, we implemented it that way. So we're always looking for what the players are saying, because really, we're here to bring you a product that you like and enjoy. So we want to keep that up.
Well,
yeah, on that topic, I remember when the first time I ran into the ult, I didn't like that I had to hold it. But the more I played the class, the more I liked how it like shook it up. Now it's like my favorite part is like this, just you switch to you don't really change what you're doing, you just change your buttons, but it feels good to press it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been like really just exciting. We've had a few like fun things just come out of it, just from like that whole, originally it wasn't meant to function like that. Actually, it was meant to function some other way. But then just like through the development process, we discovered like, oh, this is actually really fun, just being able to have a ton of energy or a ton of attack speed. Let's experiment around with that. So we're constantly trying out different ways of play. So that was kind of one of them. It was like a little bit of a happy accident. It functions very similar to how it was originally meant to work, but I just kind of like a cool icing on the cake of like, okay, now there's this unique interaction to the class, and it kind of gives you a different way to play, but it feels similar to the basic attack way. So
I definitely saw some people talking about this as a negative, but I love that it, like how slow it moves. You have to like lead your target. It kind of brings the FPS shooter in some ways.
There always needs to be kind of trade-offs to how you balance something, and the specific speed was meant to be one. It also kind of helps in some ways of like hitting a large area of characters. So if you have like a large area of characters coming towards you, because of the speed, it may be a little bit easier to hit them. But yeah, you have to lead your shot a bit. That's kind of one of the balance trade-offs to it.
Yeah,
and that actually increased. It was originally slower, but it was a suggestion in BTS that it be faster, and that's one of the things we kind of tweaked around with in the background. That is, I don't think that's actually in PTS notes, that it is a little bit faster than originally when it came to PTS. So it's just like a little small tweak that we're like, we want this to feel a little better. So we kind of like sped it up a little bit.
Someone's questioning your power rank, Andrew.
Oh, this is not. Yeah. This is not. This is one of my dev accounts that I use to like kind of tweak with different stuff. This is one of the really low power rank classes. This is not the class I test on. We have our own like unique kind of like testings like builds we can do. So yeah, this one has a very low power rank currently. Why you're not seeing insane numbers when I'm attacking.
When I was in QA, I have accounts on every environment that have like just maxed out characters of every class.
Oh
and so
yeah, sure.
So one of the first things I did when the revamp came in was I go into delves and I know exactly where I should stop being able to, based on my own skill, solo the delves. And basically my barometer for these updates is I should be able to get past that point after the update.
Yeah.
And I was very easily able to do it. I was like, oh god, this is great.
I have similar things. I have like several different accounts that I use specifically for testing, and then I'll go up like I'll test in delves like you're saying right there, or I'll go hunt down a Leviathan, like test like time to kill, how long does it kill a Leviathan, how hard is it, how much do I have to interact with them. There's like tons of things we do to try to kind of test things to balance out. Now they necessarily come out and then the player base figures out some smart way to like shatter what we're testing, which is is like so much fun to see. It's so much fun to balance around. But it is yeah. I've seen in Discord chat. I'm like I can see some of you that are like you're very clever in how you get around stuff. But yeah, it's just a real joy to kind of work on it because this Trove is so crazy with how they do stats, how they do balancing. Nuts. It's just been a joy to work on. Yeah. That's kind of it for the Shadowhunter revamp. That's like it's just been a joy to work on this one again. Like I really this is like the Lunar Lancer. I really enjoy this. Is one of my classes I like a lot. So we're really happy to kind of bring it back and give it something for you all to play around with, try out, test with. But it's been a real joy.
Thank you so much for the wonderful explanation on the Shadowhunter Revamp. A lot of people have already mentioned that it's a lot of good information that you have just shared, so thank you very much. However, they also want to know what's coming up in the future. Is there anything special coming up soon that you can share? Not necessarily revamps and classes.
Yeah, we have nothing really for revamps or classes, but do we have any? What month is it? Is it I think
March starts on Tuesday.
Yeah, March does start on Tuesday. As you all know, I've become the arbiter of events and all things therein. As you can tell, as we've been jumping around, we've been attacking the new Heck Bug dummies, which I hope everybody's been enjoying. Hope everybody enjoyed Heck Bugs in Love. I know it's over now. I really enjoyed that event. I loved getting all the artwork back. Like, I started fishing through the files, and some of you guys might recognize this dummy from, some other location. But once I saw it, I was like, I have to make this available. It's so amazing.
It translated really well to a dummy.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Yeah, like, I didn't know this existed because there's so much stuff going into our game. When this went in, I wasn't on Trove at the time, so it was just so awesome to see it, and I was just like, oh, this works so well. And then the eggs that the art team got us for the actual delves were so awesome. So I'd mentioned those were originally like flagged to disappear at the end of the event, and I was getting a bunch of messages from players like, oh, these probably shouldn't go away. So those won't be going away anymore. Just so everybody should have noticed by now, but yeah, it was really a joy to work on it. I loved what I was able to do with the event, which was I didn't lose anything from the previous year. I think Andrew worked on it last year, and I thought it was a really good event. I wanted to make sure that everybody who missed it or maybe wasn't able to get on and get everything they wanted was still able to do so. So I really was happy with how that event came out. But
yeah, it's always good to provide people a way to get something missed.
Yeah, especially for like people on Switch who they didn't have this game a year ago. So Going forward, though, St. Cubeslick is just around the corner, as I'm sure everybody knows. And Andrew, I'm going to go sneak into a location real quick. I don't want to spoil anything. Of course, I say right before I do, but I did want to show off one of the awesome things the art team gave us, and one of the things you can look forward to getting access to in the St. Cubeslick event. So, Andrew, if you want to join on me real fast.
Yeah. Oh, where are you? Oh yeah, I'm coming. I see ya. Ooh, what is this?
This is I've been calling it my own little rainbow road, but hashtag Nintendo don't sue me. No, these are the rainbow road blocks that we've been getting, or I think they're just called rainbow. These are the carpet blocks. They're replaceable blocks, but this is something. Last year's June event, we had that awesome rainbow railroad or roller coaster in the hub, and
Yeah.
it made me think like it'd be awesome if players could make that. So I put in the request. This is not quite what I requested. I requested something that was honestly way less interesting. This is what came back from the art team, and I had a blast building with it.
These are super cool. I've not actually seen these. Look at this.
Yeah, one of the things I tried to show off with these is
Oh.
you can change the directions of the there's enough blocks that you can have like either color combination that you want. You can either go purple blue green or green blue purple. And the same with the red orange yellow. I do think there's one of the traditional colors that's in the rainbow that's missing from this. I can't remember which one, but it was just like it did not look as good to try to shoehorn that seventh color in, and I think these came out beautiful.
These look great. Yeah.
And then as you travel down my construction, I really love this shape right here where where it spirals in on itself.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the rainbow, I don't know, what is that?
Are these usable on only Club Worlds, or can you use them on like your Cornerstone and stuff?
Yeah, I set these up so that they can only be placed in Cornerstones or Club Worlds. That way, you don't accidentally place them in some adventure world and lose them forever. Yeah, I don't build a lot in Trove, and I could have I built a lot less at first, but I was having so much fun with these that I just kept going and going and going.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what art like the players do with this in the future. Like I think it makes a lot of really cool stuff with them. So, but you can only get them during the March event, right?
You can only get the recipe for them. Once you get the recipe, I've taken some player feedback. One of the events, I just gave people deco pieces, and that filled up their inventory. So I'm doing my best. I don't know if you guys have noticed in all the recent events to give you some fun stuff to build with, because to me that's half the fun in Trove. Oh yeah, somebody's that's Gamigo Games. Yeah, there's a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow.
Ooh.
Now I don't know if I can reach it yet. Might have to wait till March for that. But yeah, once when I saw that artwork, I was can't wait for March.
I did saw that somebody mentioned that they love the fact that you guys are introducing the rainbow blocks, and they would love to see in the future perhaps letter blocks as well.
Letter blocks.
Quick, write that down.
Like alphabetical, so that way they can spell things. I am assuming.
I don't. This sounds like a dangerous thing to get played.
Yeah, there are some rules that would like we couldn't necessarily just do that. The functionality of how you'd have to implement it would be pretty complex. I think you couldn't just make just blocks. There'd have to be rules around it. But maybe we were always like I said, like I was saying before,
never.
We are always looking for player feedback and anywhere, whether it's on combat, whether it's on building stuff. We are we like to read that stuff, and some things come out of it, and we put them into the game. So
yeah.
We're always happy to see that thing.
I tried to write Skull Throne on my Cornerstone, and was one line of blocks too short. So I like this plan just so I can finish and properly write Skull Throne on my Cornerstone.
Yeah, it's something we'll definitely have to discuss.
I don't know, Blocky, what would you put on your Cornerstone with letters?
Oh, obviously my name. Obviously, just Blocky in as big a letters as possible, so everyone knows it's Blocky's cornerstone.
With glitter. You gotta add some glitter to it, though.
Glitter, purple rain, make it shower gold. Gotta build me one of those rainbow roads.
We should make an event where you hunt for Blocky's cornerstone.
Oh,
No, I
I'll
haven't-
be out there.
I haven't actually tried this yet. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this will work. Let me see if I can throw. Oh, nope.
No?
Some. I was thinking I could put some mag rails on this, and I can. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh!
So you could literally make, racetracks or whatnot.
Oh my god.
Train tracks.
Do your own Mario Kart in your Rainbow Road. Amazing. That would be a lot of fun to see. That's possibility of events in the future. Writing it down.
Well, I mean, there is one. That's June. We'll get to that later.
I just hear an engineer screaming like in the background of like the amount of potential work it would be to do like a racing mini game or event or something.
I wonder what I just did. I don't think this is gonna go well. Okay, it went well. All right. Just started placing down mag rails. Yeah, I definitely know that mag rails can make the servers cry sometimes.
Yeah, so we have to be careful with them. But they are something really really unique to Trove. It's fun.
They're my favorite thing in Trove.
I love messing with them. Yeah.
Basically, everything I ever do is like immediately followed up with how can I integrate mag rails into this as a player.
That's like my first week here. It's like let's just put mag rails and everything, and I was like, no, it causes lag.
Oh yeah, I saw your mad science project.
Don't.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Shush.
I won't.
Yeah, something that's never going to come out.
We have faith. All right, well, we're sort of close to the end, you guys. So just a quick reminder that you can follow all of Trove's social medias. Let me see if my command will be nice. Yeah, there we go. You can follow all of Trove's social medias in the link that I just posted in the chat. In our link tree, you will find our Discord, our forums, and our news page, and everything that you need. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So make sure you keep up to date with everything that is happening in the world of Trove. We're doing quite a few events lately. You guys, if you weren't playing much on February, you missed a lot of really good events that the CMs brought, including finding Trove's president. I have no idea which ones you guys got on PC, but I'm pretty sure somebody did become president of Trove. Also, do not forget to check on our awesome store. We have a lot of bundles going on. Who knows, maybe you guys will get a bundle on the Shadowhunter in the future, but you will have to wait and see. But make sure you keep an eye out for all the goodies that are happening. But right now you have your Bart pack, your Jump pack, and you have potions, fortunes, boosters, the Hardy pack, the Geodium pack, the Geode 1 and 2, Guardian, and Botanical Blasters, among others. So make sure to keep up to date with the store. If there's something that might catch your attention, grab it. Don't leave it for the last minute. Now, as always, thank you so much, Devs, for hanging out with us today and for the amazing explanation of the Shadowhunter Revamp. We look forward to bringing more streams with more information in the future. Please make sure to write all of your feedback as well as your questions in Discord. We do our best to gather them and answer them as quick as we can, as much as we can. But we will keep you guys updated for all of those you in the different platforms that don't have the Shadowhunter Revamp yet. You will get it sometime.
We try as fast as we can.
It's being worked on.
People are working very, very hard. All I can say is that, like, seriously, they're not. It's a lot of work to get them on consoles. So be patient. We'll try to get them as soon as we can.
We want to make sure that we deliver the best of the best, so it'll take a little bit of time. But keep up with the news. We will let you guys know very, very soon when that happens. Also, since Cubulis is just around the corner, maybe, so keep your eyes out for what might come in. Maybe there'll be new stuff, maybe not, but you will never know until it comes around and you check it out. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We're looking forward to the next Trove stream. Stay awesome, stay epic, and we all hope that you love Blocky. He will be joining us on all Trove future streams. So everybody, say goodbye to Blocky. Blocky, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people. It was wonderful to meet you.
See you on the flip side, everybody. Stay awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Go Chiefs!
Come on, seriously, again? Always.
I don't care if they lost.
Blocky for president.